problem with decimals? The biggest mistake kids make in elementary school is sometimes they don't know which number goes where. So in traditional division, you know, using this traditional division, the number you're dividing by goes outside, the other number goes inside, and you're trying to find the quotient, which is just the answer to a division problem. Okay? That's elementary school review, right? Okay. If there's nothing, no decimal out here, you know, then just put the decimal from inside straight up, and then do an estimate. 4 goes into 5 one time, so your answer has to be 1 point something. But it's not going to be 2, because 5 is smaller than 8. So just, you got to pick the right number when you do long division. Then you have to do 1 times 4, and you get 4. So you put that product here, you subtract, you get a 1, you bring down the 2. 4 goes into 12. So you subtract 12, you get a 0, bring down the 4, 4 goes into 4 once, you subtract, you get a 0, there's nothing else to bring down, so you're done. Your answer is 1.31. That should be easy. Okay? So on.
Well, of course it's easy because an easier way to think about it is you could just do like regular long division and then just put the decimal back in once you get the quotient.
That's right, when there's no decimal outside. So a medium problem is when there's a decimal outside. And I know you guys learned in elementary school that if there's a decimal outside, you have to move it. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And so you probably had this skill of like putting a decimal 0.
Yeah.
But really what I want to ask you is, do you guys remember fraction bars mean divide?
Yeah.
So the reason you can just do that is because it's like a little ratio table. Multiply by 10 and you get 4. Do you know that? 4 tenths times 10 is 4. And then you multiply this by 10 and you get 190. So 19 divided by 4 tenths is the exact same problem as 190 divided by 4. They're the same problem. So that's why you write this problem when you're in elementary school, you learn to write it like that. And if it works for you, don't change it, just do the problem. That means you would move this decimal to here, and you would move that decimal to here, and then you would put it up here. Okay? JT.
Well, just to think about it, it's an easier way since to get your answer, it's telling you how many times does 0.4 go into 19, so it has to be a big number.
It has to be a big number, that's right. So estimating first is a good idea. Okay, here's the thing. For some people, this long division is really hard, so this over here might be a good fallback. That works really well sometimes. So I'm going to do something that you maybe haven't seen before. Before I do the long division, which you can always do, if this is the same problem, what do we do in the beginning of the year?
The ratio table.
Yeah, divide, ratio table. So if I could get a 1 down here, then my answer is going to be up here. So just an option, you guys. This can be quick because half of 90 is 45, right? And half of 100 is 50. And add 45 and 50 and you get 95. If I can get this denominator to be 1, then whatever's up here is my final answer. So I would have to divide by 2. Half of 90 is what? 45, and half of 5 is?
2.5.
So add them together and you get 47.5. That's the answer to the long division problem. It's an option. Watch. Over here, 4 goes into 19 4 times. 4 times 4 is subtracting, you get 3. Bring down to 0.
30.
4 goes into 30.
7.
28. Subtract, you get 2.
0.0.
Okay. Yes.
You add another 0.
You can. you could bring that 0 down. You might even notice that 2 over 4 is a half. But if you bring the 0 down, 4 goes into 25 times, and you get the same answer. So the reason I'm doing that is for people that struggle with long division, sometimes you could use a ratio table. It might help some of you. It's an option, not a requirement. It's not one of those times where I'm saying, I want you to learn this method. It's just an optional strategy. But for some people, I'm going to say that it's quicker for some people. So, let's practice both ways. Okay, so on this one, outside is 1.25,
Inside is 8.75.
8.75.
We can do 125 divided by, or 8,750 divided by 125.
No, only 875.
Oh.
Right? Because remember, if you did it with the ratio table, that's what you would start with, right? If you multiply by 100, you're going to get 875. If you multiply this by 100, you're going to get 125. At that point, you could go do long division, or you might just think about dividing by 25 over here, if that works better for you. How many times does 25 go into 125? 5. How many times does it go into 8? 800. Like, how many quarters are in $8?
16.
9 quarters.
4 in every dollar, right?
You have 4 times 8.
So you've got 32. Plus 3 more quarters. So what would this be?
35.
35.
Oh, and then you divide it by 5 again.
If I divide by 5, oh, that was weird. Lauren's being crazy.
I didn't get that. So you get 7. That's your answer, 7.
So if I divide by 5 again, if I have a 1 here, my answer's going to be at the top.
7.
Let's try it. That must mean, what's 7 times 125? If I check my work, 7 times 2 is
14.
plus 3.
17.
Yeah, sorry. Lost my train. It's even, right?
You just don't have these decimals.
Oops. So, they both work. I'm going to say that sometimes one way works better than the other, but they both work. So if long division looks like it might be messy, before you start, you can look at the ratio table. If the ratio table looks like it's going to be messy, then do the long division. Be flexible. Try both ways. Okay? You have options. Questions? Okay. So we'll